Kevin, we're talking today about learning, and particularly learning on the job, and more importantly, putting into practice what you learn and sharing what you learn, which is something which runs right to the core of what we're trying to do here at Build Your Edge. Because once you put it into practice, you retain a lot more knowledge. And you're someone who's built a career not out of just sort of constant development and learning, but also sharing massively what you learn. Tell us a bit more about that. Why do you do that, and how has it worked out for you?
Well, I think for me, I've always learned through doing. I was one of those people who kind of bought up all those tech books, but I struggled reading them. You know, there was too much to take on and things like that. So I'd love to kind of crack open the laptop, build out things there. Yes, I kind of came from the dev world and building out content, but actually doing things helped me learn. And I also learned by snippets from other people. You know, I was lucky enough to grow up in that age of YouTube just starting to appear on there, people creating blogs and content like that. And I loved this. So I thought, well, I should do the same, really. It's kind of the pay it back view to it as well. So as I was doing things, I'd write them up and start putting them on blog posts. I start writing notes and things. It's probably fair to say initially I was a bit nervous. No one cares about what I'm saying. But I'd write it down as if they did. And then I'd start publishing it and telling a few people about it, posting it onto social media. And it just kind of grew and grew from there. And you also realize that those other people who are publishing, you kind of see these big influential names in different tech worlds, those who kind of sit within that space. These can feel like big names. They're exactly the same. They're
Yeah.
just posting what they've been doing, and they've gradually refined that art over time as to what works, what doesn't work, what's too long, what's too short, what gets to the point, what actually helps people. And I love the fact that I've done it, and I've spoken to so many other people that have discovered something through their learning, posted about it, and then forgotten. And when they've gone to Google or Bing to find about it, they've come up with their own blog post that has actually answered the question again. And to me, that's that point of learning. It's for you and for other people would have stumbled across that can help answer those questions.
And you put there at the beginning, and I'm paraphrasing, but you didn't feel confident enough. Like, what do I know that somebody else will be interested in? But actually, as
Yeah.
you've also said, everybody who starts out is exactly the same. And it's a theme that's run through a couple of guests already, which is this, I've picked up this phrase, practice in public, which
Yeah.
means just go do it and see what happens. How did you get over your initial nerves and apprehensiveness and feeling of, not good enough?
You never really get over that. You never kind of conquer that feeling that there's always someone who feels better, and there's always times where what you do, you see someone else, coming back to that coding world, you'll see someone else write a bit of code and they'll do it in a third of the time you did, or
Yeah.
you'll see someone who's able to rattle off these bits of knowledge from all the different areas and things like that. So I think not comparing myself with other people and just doing what I feel comfortable with, and
Yeah.
trying to hold in my brain those people I chat to who've loved what I've been able to put out there. It's not everyone. Not everyone
Mm.
wants in the way. You mentioned the beginning of the intro, co-host the Copilot Connection podcast. I love this podcast format because in many places I can just ramble and talk around the subject. Thankfully, there's great podcast hosts like you who kind of cut it down and put the quality out there as well. So finding out what works for you and then finding an audience that likes it just kind of takes away that view. Again,
Yeah.
not everyone is going to be exactly there and want everything you do, but there will be a good chunk of people who are.
Exactly. You'll find your audience, won't you? And yeah, we've touched on a couple of technology resources. You mentioned blogs and videos and Stack
Mm.
Overflow. Now, of course, we've got AI, and I'm wondering if you think AI is going to change this, because we tend just to go to ChatGPT or something and say, "Here's a question, give me an answer," and it gives you some content which you then trust and use.
Oh, please tell me you don't.
We all do, Kevin. We all do.
To me, To me, using ChatGPT, Copilot, Claude, and other things like that is getting that first little tidbit of, right, I've got an idea where I need to dig into things on this. I still look back to a history teacher who said, you should always criticize everything. You should look at what are the positives that are out of it, what are the negatives, what do I feel I trust? Can I get some other sources of evidence from there? So never just look at those results that come from that. Go and dig into those articles and see, do you trust them? And getting into that detail is really important from there.
Yeah.